Willkommen bei Exam Heist, Ihr Partner für Zertifizierungserfolg. Wir bieten umfassende Lernmaterialien, online und offline, und begleiten Sie Schritt für Schritt. Von PDF-Leitfäden bis zu praxisnahen Übungssätzen. Alle wichtigen Fragen für Ihre Zertifizierung sind abgedeckt. Sie haben jederzeit die richtigen Ressourcen griffbereit. Laden Sie PDFs herunter. Machen Sie Tests und nutzen Sie unser Expertenteam. Mit interaktiver Online-Praxis können Sie sich überall und jederzeit prüfen. Unsere PDFs sind prüfungsbereit, sorgfältig zusammengestellt und bleiben stets aktuell. Tausende Lernende haben sich bereits erfolgreich zertifizieren lassen und vertrauen auf unsere Qualität. Zertifizierte Fachkräfte stehen bereit, um Ihre Fragen zu beantworten. Starten Sie heute und geben Sie Ihrer Vorbereitung den entscheidenden Vorteil mit Exam Heist. Besuchen Sie examheist.com. Exam Heist. Ihr Weg zum Erfolg beginnt hier.
Question 1. Your company has a single on-premises data center in Washington, D.C. The East US Azure region has a peering location in Washington, D.C. The company only has Azure resources in the East US region. You need to implement ExpressRoute to support up to 1 gigabit per second. You must use only ExpressRoute unlimited data plans. The solution must minimize costs. Which type of ExpressRoute circuits should you create? Option A. ExpressRoute Local. Option B. ExpressRoute Direct. Option C. ExpressRoute Premium. Option D. ExpressRoute Standard. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. ExpressRoute Local. Question 2. You are planning an Azure point-to-site P2S VPN that will use OpenVPN. Users will authenticate by an on-premises Active Directory domain. Which additional service should you deploy to support the VPN authentication? Option A. An Azure Key Vault. Option B. A Radius Server. Option C. A Certification Authority. Option D. Azure Active Directory. Azure Ad. Application Proxy. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. A Radius Server. Question 3. You plan to configure BGP for a site-to-site VPN connection between a data center and Azure. Which two Azure resources should you configure? Each correct answer presents a part of the solution. Choose two. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. A virtual network gateway. Option B. Azure Application Gateway. Option C. Azure Firewall. Option D. A local network gateway. Option E. Azure Front Door. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. A virtual network gateway. Option D. A local network gateway. Question 4. You fail to establish a site-to-site VPN connection between your company's main office and an Azure virtual network. You need to troubleshoot what prevents you from establishing the IPsec tunnel. Which diagnostic log should you review? Option A. IKE diagnostic log. Option B. Root diagnostic log. Option C. Gateway diagnostic log. Option D. Tunnel diagnostic log. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. IKE diagnostic log. Question 5. You have an Azure virtual network and an on-premises data center. You are planning a site-to-site VPN connection between the data center and the virtual network. Which two resources should you include in your plan? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. A user-defined route. Option B. A virtual network gateway. Option C. Azure Firewall. Option D. Azure Web Application Firewall, WAF. Option E. An on-premises data gateway. Option F. An Azure Application Gateway. Option G. A local network gateway. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, a virtual network gateway. Option G, a local network gateway. Question 6. Your company has an on-premises network and 3 Azure subscriptions named Subscription 1, Subscription 2, and Subscription 3. The departments at the company use the Azure subscriptions as shown in the following table. All the resources in the subscriptions are in either the West US Azure region or the West US 2 Azure region. You plan to connect all the subscriptions to the on-premises network by using ExpressRoute. What is the minimum number of ExpressRoute circuits required? Option A, 1. Option B, 2. Option C, 3. Option D, 4. Option E, 5. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, 1. Question 7. Your company has offices in New York and Amsterdam. The company has an Azure subscription. Both offices connect to Azure by using a site-to-site VPN connection. The office in Amsterdam uses resources in the North Europe Azure region. The office in New York uses resources in the East US Azure region. You need to implement ExpressRoute circuits to connect each office to the nearest Azure region. Once the ExpressRoute circuits are connected, the on-premises computers in the Amsterdam office must be able to connect to the on-premises servers in the New York office by using the ExpressRoute circuits. Which ExpressRoute option should you use? Option A, ExpressRoute Fast Path. Option B, ExpressRoute Global Reach. Option C, ExpressRoute Direct. Option D, ExpressRoute Local. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, ExpressRoute Global Reach. Question 8. You have an Azure virtual network named VNet1 and an on-premises network. The on-premises network has policy-based VPN devices. In VNet1, you deploy a virtual network gateway named GW1 that uses SKU of VPN GW1 and is route-based. You have a site-to-site VPN connection for GW1 as shown in the following exhibit. You need to ensure that the on-premises network can connect to the route-based GW1. What should you do before you create the connection? Option A. Set connection mode to responder only. Option B. Set BGP to enabled. Option C. Set use Azure private IP address to enabled. Option D. Set IPsec, IKE policy to custom. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D, set IPsec, IKE policy to custom. Question 9. You are planning an Azure deployment that will contain 3 virtual networks in the East US Azure region as shown in the following table. A site-to-site VPN will connect VNet1 to your company's on-premises network. You need to recommend a solution that ensures that the virtual machines on all the virtual networks can communicate with the on-premises network. The solution must minimize costs. What should you recommend for VNet2 and VNet3? Option A. VNet to VNet VPN connections. Option B. Peering. Option C. Service endpoints. Option D. Route tables. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, peering. Question 10. Your company has an office in New York. The company has an Azure subscription that contains the virtual networks shown in the following table. You need to connect the virtual networks to the office by using express route. The solution must meet the following requirements. The connection must have up to 1 gigabit per second of bandwidth. The office must have access to all the virtual networks. Costs must be minimized. How many express route circuits should be provisioned? And which express route SKU should you enable? Option A. 1 express route premium circuit. Option B. 2 express route premium circuits. Option C. 4 express route standard circuits. Option D. 1 express route standard circuit. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, 1 express route premium circuit. Question 11. You have an Azure subscription that contains a virtual network. You plan to deploy an Azure VPN gateway and 90 site-to-site VPN connections. The solution must meet the following requirements. Ensure that the site-to-site VPN connections remain available if an Azure data center fails. Minimize costs. Which gateway SKU should you specify? Option A. VPN-GW1AZ. Option B. VPN-GW2AZ. Option C. VPN-GW4AZ. Option D. VPN-GW5AZ. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, VPN-GW4AZ. Question 12. You have an Azure subscription that contains the resources shown in the following table. You create a virtual network named VNet2 in the West US region. You plan to enable peering between VNet1 and VNet2. You need to ensure that the virtual machines connected to VNet2 can connect to VM1 and VM2 via LB1. What should you do? Option A. From the peering settings of VNet2. Set traffic forwarded from remote virtual network to allow. Option B. Change the floating IP configurations of LB1. Option C. From the peering settings of VNet1. Set traffic forwarded from remote virtual network to allow. Option D. Change the SKU of LB1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Change the SKU of LB1. Question 13. You have an Azure subscription that contains a virtual network named VNet1 and the virtual machines shown in the following table. All the virtual machines are connected to VNet1. You need to ensure that the applications hosted on the virtual machines can be accessed from the Internet. The solution must ensure that the virtual machines share a single public IP address. What should you use? Option A. An internal load balancer. Option B. Azure Application Gateway. Option C. A NAT gateway. Option D. A public load balancer. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, a public load balancer. Question 14. Case study. This is a case study. Case studies are not timed separately. You can use as much exam time as you would like to complete each case. However, there may be additional case studies and sections on this exam. You must manage your time to ensure that you are able to complete all questions included on this exam in the time provided. To answer the questions included in a case study, you will need to reference information that is provided in the case study. Case studies might contain exhibits and other resources that provide more information about the scenario that is described in the case study. Each question is independent of the other questions in this case study. At the end of this case study, a review screen will appear. This screen allows you to review your answers and to make changes before you move to the next section of the exam. After you begin a new section, you cannot return to this section. To start the case study, to display the first question in this case study, Click the Next button. Use the buttons in the left pane to explore the content of the case study before you answer A. Questions. Clicking these buttons displays information such as business requirements, existing environment, and problem statements. When you are ready to answer a question, click the Question button to return to the question. Overview. Litware, Inc. is a financial company that has a main data center in Boston and 20 branch offices across the United States. Users have Android, iOS, and Windows 10 devices. Existing environment. Hybrid environment. The on-premises network contains an Active Directory forest named Litware Inc. com that syncs to an Azure Active Directory. Azure AD tenant named Litware Inc. com by using Azure AD Connect. All offices connect to a virtual network named VNet1 by using a site-to-site VPN connection. Azure environment. Litware has an Azure subscription named Sub1 that is linked to the Litware Inc. com Azure AD tenant. Sub1 contains resources in the East US Azure region as shown in the following table. A diagram of the resource in the East US Azure region is shown in the Azure Network Diagram exhibit. There is bidirectional peering between VNet1 and VNet2. There is bidirectional peering between VNet1 and VNet3. Currently, VNet2 and VNet3 cannot communicate directly. Azure Network Diagram requirements. Business requirements. Litware wants to minimize costs whenever possible, as long as all other requirements are met. Virtual networking requirements. Litware identifies the following virtual networking requirements. Direct the default route of 0 over 0 on VNet2 and VNet3 to the Boston data center over an express route circuit. Ensure that the records in the cloud, Litware Inc. com can be resolved from the on-premises locations. Automatically register the DNS names of Azure virtual machines to the cloud. Litware Inc. com zone. Minimize the size of the subnets allocated to platform-managed services. Allow traffic from VM scale set 1 to VM scale set 2 on the TCP port 443 only. Hybrid networking requirements. Litware identifies the following hybrid networking requirements. Users must be able to connect to VNet1 by using a point-to-site P2S VPN when working remotely. Connections must be authenticated by Azure AD. Latency of the traffic between the Boston data center and all the virtual networks must be minimized. The Boston data center must connect to the Azure virtual networks by using an express route fast path connection. Traffic between VNet2 and VNet3 must be routed through VNet1. PaaS networking requirements. Litware identifies the following networking requirements for platform as a service. PaaS. The Storage 1 account must be accessible from all on-premises locations without exposing the public endpoint of Storage 1. The Storage 2 account must be accessible from VNet2 and VNet3 without exposing the public endpoint of Storage 2. You need to connect VNet2 and VNet3. The solution must meet the virtual networking requirements and the business requirements. Which two actions should you include in the solution? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. On the peering from VNet1. Select Allow for traffic forwarded from remote virtual network. Option B. On the peerings from VNet2 and VNet3. Select Allow for traffic forwarded from remote virtual network. Option C. On the peering from VNet1. Select Use the remote virtual network's gateway or root server. Option D. On the peering from VNet1. Select Allow for traffic to remote virtual network. Option E. On the peerings from VNet2 and VNet3. Select Use the remote virtual network's gateway or root server. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. On the peerings from VNet 2 in VNet 3. Select Allow for traffic forwarded from remote virtual network. Option E. On the peerings from VNet 2 in VNet 3. Select Use the remote virtual network's gateway or root server. Question 15. You have 3 on-premises networks. You have an Azure subscription that contains a basic Azure virtual WAN. The virtual WAN contains a single virtual hub and a virtual network gateway that is limited to a throughput of 1 Gbps. The on-premises networks connect to the virtual WAN by using site-to-site S2S VPN connections. You need to increase the throughput of the virtual WAN to 3 gigabits per second. The solution must minimize administrative effort. What should you do? Option A. Upgrade the virtual WAN to the standard SKU. Option B. Add an additional VPN gateway to the Azure subscription. Option C. Create an additional virtual hub. Option D. Increase the number of gateway scale units. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Increase the number of gateway scale units. Question 16. You have 10 on-premises networks that are connected by using a third-party software-defined wide area network. SD-WAN. Solution. You have an Azure subscription that contains 5 virtual networks. You plan to connect the Azure virtual networks and the on-premises networks by using an Azure virtual WAN with a single virtual WAN hub. You need to ensure that the Azure virtual WAN can act as a node in the third-party SD-WAN solution. What should you include in the solution? Option A. An Azure Virtual WAN Express Route Gateway. Option B. A Network Virtual Appliance NVA. Option C. A Site-to-Site Gateway VPN Gateway. Option D. A Point-to-Site Gateway User VPN Gateway. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. A Network Virtual Appliance NVA. Question 17. You have an on-premises data center and an Azure subscription. You plan to implement Express Route Fast Path. You need to create an Express Route Gateway. The solution must minimize downtime if a single Azure data center fails. Which SKU should you use? Option A. GW1AZ. Option B. High Performance. Option C. Ultra Performance. Option D. GW3AZ. Option E. GW2AZ. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. GW3AZ. Question 18. You have an Azure subscription that contains an Express Route Standard Gateway named GW1. You need to upgrade GW1 to support Express Route Fast Path. The solution must minimize downtime. Which SKU should you use? Option A. Ultra Performance. Option B. GW3AZ. Option C. GW2AZ. Option D. High Performance. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Ultra Performance. Question 19. You have an Azure subscription that contains the resources shown in the following table. You plan to deploy an Azure Virtual Network NAT gateway named Gateway 1. The solution must meet the following requirements. VM1 will access the Internet by using its public IP address. VM2 will access the Internet by using its public IP address. Administrative effort must be minimized. You need to ensure that you can deploy Gateway 1 to VNet 1. What is the minimum number of subnets that VNet 1 must have? Option A. 2. Option B. 3. Option C. 4. Option D. 5. Choose the correct answer. correct answer is option C 4.